Music Access. There's a famous line that actress Chun Ji-hyun said in the movie 10월에 or 일말에. You might have heard it before. She said, "Do you know what a cough, poverty, and heartache have in common? You can't hide them." There's something else that these three have in common. They're things that anyone and everyone can have. A cough from a cold, being poor, and a heartache are all things that anyone can experience, especially if you're not careful, and especially if you're the person that thinks it may never happen to you. Others may still add these things to the list. If it's really bad, it'll make you lose sleep. You'll be far more sick before you start feeling better, and you'll get sick again with the same symptoms many times. But the strange thing is, you don't want to run into colds or poverty in your life, especially poverty, but aren't you a little more willing to run into love, although it might result in heartache? I guess we all hope for the chance that it might not. The first song you heard today, Sunday, November 22nd, 2015, was I Don't Like It, I Love It, Love It, Love It by Flo Rida featuring Robin Thicke. So, listening to the first song, did you think to yourself that you're willing to take the risk with love? Did you think that your love doesn't end in heartache and that your love is full of happiness? I hope so. I hope that all of you are happily in love or are taking the risks to pursue love. And I also hope you share that love with me and our MA fam. I'll be waiting for you here for your love-filled messages. You'll send them to me, right? I'll be waiting for you here. And also, if you have love stories that you want to send in, just go ahead and feel free to send those in as well. Meanwhile, our Sunday Corner Scribble is a corner for you to think freely and just doodle out your thoughts. Feel free to talk about anything, whether it's something very serious, something very light, or just a passing thought. Write in without thinking too much and write in just what's in your heart. Go ahead and share with us by writing Scribble on your title. And, of course, here's how you can listen and participate on Music Access. If you have a smartphone, you can download the Arirang Radio app or TuneIn Radio app to listen to our programs and send in your messages. And if you use a computer, just visit www.arirangradio.com/musicaccess to listen to us or leave your messages. Another way you can tune in is through terrestrial DMB, but this is only available for our listeners living on Jeju Island. The frequencies are 88.7 for Jeju City, 88.1 for Seogwipo, and 101.9 for Daejeong. And of course, song requests, you know how to send them, and you know what songs you want to send. Go ahead and post those up on our message board under the title Request. Now we're going to listen to two songs before we come back to Scribble, and we're starting with the song Stay the Night by James Blunt, followed with Like a Star by Corinne Bailey Rae.
I wanna be with you.
I want to be with you, and if you feel the same, shall we meet here? Will you tell me your story? If you're shy, you can playfully scribble, and if you don't know where to start, you can start with a doodle and scribble. Good job, that's how we begin our story.
I wanna be with you.
Our Sunday Corner Scribble is just that. This corner's for you to think freely and just doodle out your thoughts. It's a chance for you to be honest to yourself and think about what was hard, what was embarrassing, what was a proud moment, etc. from the past week. Or whenever. Go ahead and share with us by writing Scribble on your title. Now let's go to our first message. And our first message comes from Heather Folsom from the USA. So, hey, saying, hey Benji, so I had some questions for the image game that you played with the B.I.G members, but you know what, now I figured since they're gone, I might as well ask you. So Benji, please answer. Number 1, who is the member that always forgets their wallet going out to eat or the convenience store, and why? Let's see, the one that forgets their wallet. I know for a fact the one who tries to not spend money is probably Jae-hoon, I'm assuming. You know, I think we not none of us really forget our wallets because you know it's always good to have some kind of ID, and you know you always need money for some various reason. But I'd say the person. Well, change the question to who kind of has a tendency to get other people to buy food for them. That would be Jaehoon probably. Number two, which member would be the first to play a trick on your managers and why? That would probably be me. That's just because I'm very, very playful. And I'm very, very involved in pranks. I do like doing pranks. And I think one of the best parts about having a manager is, just thinking about what kind of pranks you can play. There's a lot of stuff you can do when you spend a lot of time with someone. Number three, which member would most likely escape from the practice room without getting noticed and why? Actually, it's interesting because in response to that, Hito and me as well, when we're practicing, once in a while we'll go to the convenience store nearby and we'll get something and just come back and no one really finds out. It's kind of crazy. You just kind of go out, buy something really fast, and then you come back. And, it's all good stuff. But I think we're just good at not getting caught. Maybe. So far, so good. I don't know. All right, so we're going to check out two more songs as we continue on, starting with a song that Jebit of the Philippines requested, What Do You Mean by Justin Bieber? And Unita in Indonesia wants to hear the song Made in the USA by Demi Lovato. We just heard the songs What Do You Mean by Justin Bieber, followed by Made in the USA by Demi Lovato. And it's time for our next message for Scribble Scribble. And we have Desiree from the USA saying, I've got a question for you. Do you like cilantro or do you hate it? I always thought it tasted awful, but apparently that has to do with genetics. For some people, including me, it tastes like soap because of a gene that allows us to smell some chemical that is present in both soap and cilantro. I would say I have no opinions on cilantro. When it comes to herbs, I remember a long time ago, my parents had a spice set, so they had all these dried spices that they would, in these mini bottles that were all laid out really nicely, and I'd open them up and smell them. Obviously, I think the one that people like the most is cinnamon. Cinnamon is just a really, really aromatic smell. If put in the right amounts, it can give it a little bit of a kick. I think it's just a really, really good spice overall. But besides cinnamon, I would say that the spice that I really, really dislike is maybe basil, maybe? I'm not sure. I'm not a huge fan of just like a lot of green food and stuff. And so, if I had to pick one, I'm not going to say off the top of my head it's cilantro. Because cilantro can be good in certain amounts. But, I'm not a huge fan of cilantro either. Because I don't like vegetables. I'm a meat guy. I like beef. I like pork. Chicken, if it's fried. I just realized I eat a lot of unhealthy stuff. I should probably eat a little healthier. Maybe a little more vegetables in my diet. Nah, we'll do it with fruit. But fruit, substitute cilantro with apples and see what happens. I don't know if that's a good idea for whatever food you're eating, but it could work. Alright, so we're going to continue on with two more songs as we continue on, starting with a song that Anne-Sophie of Malaysia wants to hear, Happy by Pharrell Williams, and Theploy of Thailand requested the song Focus by Ariana Grande featuring Jamie Foxx. We just heard the song Happy by Pharrell Williams, followed by Focus by Ariana Grande featuring Jamie Foxx. I'm Benji of B.I.G, and you're listening to Music Access on our corner Scribble Scribble, where the thoughts that go over in your head, try writing down your feelings and jotting down your thoughts comfortably and sending them in here to us so we can all have a little bit of, relaxing message time. Our next message comes from Unita Swinyo from Indonesia saying, Benji, I have a nice story for you. Last night, Josh asked DJ Joe on Wonders of Jeju. Unita is a big Benji fan. How is Benji in real life? And apparently DJ Joe said, that's a good question. I haven't had the chance to meet him yet. I'd love to, though. He seems to thoroughly love working on radio, and I can sense his joy as he DJs. I love listening to his show because of that. He does a great job as a DJ. So I asked him to write a message for you because I'm sure you'll be happy if he did that. So, DJ Joe, I wonder if you're tuning into MA right now. That would be really, really cool. I see him, or I don't think I've ever met him yet, but it would be great to have an opportunity to meet, the other DJs here at Arirang. And, I think, I always had this idea. Okay, think about this for a second. You work at a company, and in a company in Korea, they have a thing called a 회식, which is where all the company workers get together and go out to, eat, drink, and be merry. And so I was thinking about what if we did that here at Arirang. So we invited all the DJs out, everyone out, and we had like a nice house party. Because, obviously we're not going to go to like a bar, obviously. It's going to be a very dignified event. I'm planning to, maybe red and white wine, a few hors d'oeuvres here and there. I think it would be a very, very classy time overall. Just, I've always had this idea of just like a company, just like hang out. Because, meet new people, meet old friends, have a place to chill. Why not? Especially when you're hanging out with cool people like Isak and Stephanie and DJ Joe. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to DJ Joe. Whoop, whoop. And all the people like Sam and Kevin and stuff. Wow. Okay, but thank you so much for, that message. And DJ Joe, if you are listening, I love you. Please love me back. Love me right. Ah. Okay, so we're going to check out two songs as we continue on with the rest of our program, starting with the song that Katie of the USA requested, Sweet Girl by B1A4, and Mylene of the USA wants to hear the song Todak Todak by EXID. We just heard the song Sweet Girl by B1A4, followed by Todak Todak by EXID. And it's time for our next message, which is brief but extremely deep. We have Sena Lechisa from Ethiopia saying, question for Benji, what makes you happy? Excellent question. What makes me happy? I think this is, I would say happiness stems on various levels. I was thinking about this the other day. When it comes to happiness, I would say we have something, our happiness is kind of revolves around satisfaction. Are we satisfied with our current situation? And, part of that is immediate satisfaction. So, whether when you eat something delicious or when you, go to a place for the first time. And then another thing is long-term satisfaction. Am I satisfied with the current situation that I'm in? Am I happy with my job, happy with how things are going in my life? And, for me, sometimes I get to eat some really, really nice food. And then sometimes, I'm forced to, eat not super nice food just because of time constraints. So, I gotta, eat something on the go. And then overall, in terms of job satisfaction, am I happy with how things are going in Korea? And I'd say I think I'm doing okay. What makes me happy? I think having people that support me, putting music out, putting something out, responding to a message and having someone say, oh, thanks for the advice. I think these things mean a lot to me, and I think they make me happy. And just overall, the life that I'm living right now, it's still somewhat surreal. The fact that, if I think about how I've lived my life up until now, as a violinist, as a dude in the States, and then coming over here, I'm doing radio, I'm doing all this stuff, and I'm promoting as a singer in Korea. It's very surreal. So, I think just being here and working hard at what I'm doing is making me happy. So, I think that's another thing that's really important. Just being satisfied with the work you're doing and knowing, there's room for improvement that you can do. I guess that's that for me. Cool. So we're going to check out two more songs as we continue on, starting with the song that Darcy of the USA requested, Love, Love, Love by Roy Kim, and Kirin Hye of Thailand requested the song 200% by Akdong Musician. And right after a short break, we'll continue on with Scribble Scribble into the second hour, introducing your messages and thoughts. We'll come back after checking out the song that Sharifa of the Philippines requested, Locked Away by Adam Levine and R City. You're listening to Music Access with me, Benji of B.I.G, and our first song starting off the second hour of our show for Sunday, November 22nd was King by Years and Years. Now, for those of you just tuning in now or tuning in via your friend's stuff, here's how you can listen and participate on your own devices. You can you can download the Arirang Radio or TuneIn Radio app on your smartphones, and you can also send us messages through the app using the comment function. You can also listen to us by visiting our website www.arirangradio.com/musicaccess and leave your messages there on our message board. Another way you can tune in is through terrestrial DMB, but this is only available for our listeners living on Jeju Island. The frequencies are 88.7 for Jeju City, 88.1 for Seogwipo, and 101.9 for Daejeon. Now, we're going to check out two songs as we continue on with our second hour of our show, starting with the song Rule My World by the Kings of Convenience, followed with Their Truth by Irma. We just heard the songs Rule My World by the Kings of Convenience, followed by Their Truth by Irma. You're listening to the second hour of Music Access for Sunday, and of course our Sunday Corner Scribble, which is just like using Music Access as a big notepad. Just as you jot down your ideas, thoughts, and what's been on your mind without thinking so much on a notepad, you can send them into us here so we can all share. It'll be your messages filling up this corner, so feel free to just jot down what's on your mind. And our first message for our second hour comes from Koka from Saudi Arabia saying, "Hi Benji, how are you today? I'm so happy today. I hope for B.I.G all the best in all your music broadcasts and every day. Can you say hi to my sister? Her name is Lion. Lion? Love you B.I.G. Fighting, hope to see you soon in the Arab country." Hello, Lion, I guess you're laying, although you're not lying about being laying, you know what I'm saying? No, I'm sorry, no one's gonna get that joke. But, thank you for tuning into Music Access. And, the music broadcasts that we've been doing this week have been, chill. We've been working hard and doing all that stuff. But, I think next week we'll have a little bit more of a chance to show our faces. So, make sure to definitely tune in on that. And especially, I think, because music broadcasts provide an opportunity to see your favorite artists live in more ways than, you thought. And in much more close-up. In the States, for example, if I want to look up a video of, let's say, Usher or Chris Brown live, there's going to be a performance on, a morning news show or something. And it's going to be one of a few, because mostly it's live performances in other places, in concerts and stuff like that. But then in Korea, we are both lucky and unlucky enough, the fact that, there's so many music broadcasts every week that you can see them up close and personal in different performances, so many different performances. And it's kind of a very interesting experience, because usually if we don't really see these kinds of people, we're in a situation where we do see them. And it gives you some kind of perspective, to see them up close so much can make it boring to a certain extent if the artist does not keep the stage fresh, A little, I'm not saying, they have to make it different every time, but still, you got to have that stage that people want to see over and over again, which I think, requires a lot of practice. So hopefully, for us as well, when we come out with more stages, it'll give you guys more and more of a reason to watch it. And of course, as we get more accustomed and adjusted to being on stage, of course, I'm sure the stages will get much awesomer. So make sure to check them out, okay? Okay, Layan? I'm not lying, Layan. Check them out. Okay, sorry about the jokes. All right, so we're going to continue on with two more songs as we continue with our program, starting with a song that Samantha of Australia requested, Hot Enough by Vix, followed by Summer's by IU. We just heard the songs Hot Enough by Vix, followed by Summer's by IU. So I'm going to ask you guys a question. Is it hot enough? I don't know what it means to be hot enough, but you know what's never hot enough? Microwaved food. That's right, microwave food never really gets hot enough, or else it gets too hot. It's never just enough, especially when it comes to soup. I need it at just the right temperature, but it's always either burning or still cold in the center. Hashtag Microwavable problems. Ha 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 ha. Okay, so moving on to more messages. Our next message comes from Sharifa Jeline Renee from the Philippines saying, Confession to Benji. Benji 오빠, 내 남자친구가 되어줄래? Will you be my boyfriend? 당신에게 반했습니다. I've fallen for you. 우린 연분입니다. We're meant for each other. I don't know. When you go to the Philippines, 나랑 사귈래요? When you go to the Philippines, do you want to date with me? Ha 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 ha. I'm a girl who has no boyfriend since birth. Allow me to do this. And I will say, really? You haven't dated since... Wait, how old are you? First of all, that's really important. And second of all, not having a boyfriend or a girlfriend since you were born, no matter how old you are, is never, it's not that huge of a deal in terms of, this is what I'm talking about, when it comes to the stuff that you want to do or the stuff that you want to talk about. Of course, it's about, I would say personally, how you want to do things is how you want to do it. If you want to date someone from a young age, you can do it. There's not a problem with it. I would say, junior high, if you're dating in elementary school, I don't know if I'd consider that dating just because, you're still learning about all this stuff. And, that goes actually for junior high as well. But, once you get high school, college years, then dating becomes a much more, real thing. And at the same time, if you haven't dated, even until, college or after college, that's normal. You're just focused on other things. That's not a problem whatsoever. And, if I go to the Philippines, will I date you? Well, we'll probably have dates set for when we go to the Philippines. But, I don't know if I can date yet because my company probably won't let me. They're very, really strict on that. So, yeah, maybe, after that gets all released and we're a little bit more, they are a little bit more lenient in terms of that. Then maybe, we'll give it a shot. But right now it's going to be a little difficult. Sorry. It's not that I don't want to accept it, but I just can't. By contract. Ah ha 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 ha. Okay, that's sort of a joke. And we continue on with two more songs, starting with a song that Shreya of Bangladesh requested, Pretty Boy by Temin featuring Kai of XO. And we'll follow it with Morenaba by Soyu featuring Brother Sue. We just heard the songs Pretty Boy by Temin featuring Kai of XO, followed by Morenaba by Soyu featuring Brother Sue. And our next message comes from Anne Sophie from Malaysia saying, it's been a while since I last wrote in. How have you been? I don't know if you heard, but I lost my dad on the eve of Halloween. So I've been pretty down and in mourning. But I'm getting better, I suppose. Just keeping myself busy with work and stuff. And recently I just heard amazing news. I'm super duper excited about B.I.G coming to Malaysia, especially because you guys will be coming on the first week of January, which is my birthday week. First day of January. Is, I'm assuming, is when your birthday is. Hint, hint, haha. And I really hope I get that kangaroo hug you promised me. I wonder if you'd be able to recognize me though, because we only met once. The same day I met Sam on SKP with One Kind. I don't know. SKP. Super K-pop. That's what that is. Okay, but you can always see what I look like on SNS. I remember my first impression of you though. So tall and super cute. I think you wore a black leather jacket that day and I thought you looked really cool and you got your swag on. I really hope to meet you again in person, Benji, and not just as a random fan, but as a member of Babay's and MA fam. I'll make sure my fellow Babay admins, Leon and Unita, come to Malaysia too. Looking forward to meeting you guys. Lots of love, Sophie. It's unfortunate about, your father, it must be really, really difficult to lose family, but it's good to see that, you're keeping yourself busy and, you're keeping positive. And, when we do go to Malaysia, it's actually our first time going there. So I'm actually sort of nervous as well. It's a combination of nervousness and excitement. But, when we do go there, I think one of the things that when we go somewhere that's really awkward sometimes is, we go to the airport and all that stuff. And then, of course, people are rocking sunglasses, people are rocking masks because obviously we're going to go without any makeup. And one thing that for me to do is I have to look for you. I think that's the effort that's going to take. So, if you see me there, feel free to just yell out, just like, hey, Benji, What's music access? That's actually like a great way to actually for me to recognize you. That's one of the best ways actually, because when I went to Japan, or when B.I.G went to Japan, someone came up and says music access. I was like, oh my gosh, you listen to music access, and then they're like, yeah, I'm so and so, and then from the message is like, oh, I know who you are. Yeah, I totally know that. And so. I'm just saying, just be forewarned. If you do that, it makes it much easier for me to recognize you. Word, okay? Now, be excited because we're going to bring out our whole A game. It's going to be awesome. Now, we're going to check out 2 songs as we continue on with our program, starting with the song that Harshika of Sri Lanka wants to hear, Bang 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 by Big Bang, followed with Shinsege by Brown Eyed Girls. We just heard the songs Bang 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 by Big Bang, followed by Shinsege or New World by Brown Eyed Girls. Side note, so we were promoting on the music program, and I got a chance to see them, up close and personal as they were passing by me in the hallway. Because you don't really get a lot of chances to really meet a lot of other singers at the music broadcast stations besides, just being like, 안녕하세요, hey, it's nice to meet you, 잘 부탁드립니다, and all that stuff. But they have this like vibe where you can totally tell they're totally comfortable, extremely, exceedingly comfortable with, everything in the broadcast station. They're total pros, and so, I just gotta say, shout out to them. They're just super, super awesome. All right, so our next message comes from Angela from the USA saying, hey Benji, this is the first time in a long time since I last listened to Arirang Radio. I'm just glad to come up and hear you. Just wanted to say hi and good night for me, Angela. Well, Angela, hopefully, you are having fun on Music Access as you are listening for the first time in a long time. And I think one of the most important things about Music Access is that, it's a program that's international to a certain extent, which means that as I am, DJing, I have to take into account that there's people who are going to be, waking up to Music Access. There's people that are going to be going to sleep to Music Access. And then there's people for which Music Access is just in the middle of their day. And honestly, it's hard to really match to that, because for people who are going to sleep, a voice like this might be better. For people who are just waking up, hey, what's up? It's Music Access in the morning. And then for people in the middle of the day, I think, they can handle either way. But if you do it too sleepily in the afternoon, they might fall asleep. Although, afternoon naps are very good. So, I think I do my best to try to make it even overall. But, I'm always thinking about the people that are going to sleep as they listen to Music Access. Because I always feel a little bad because I feel like I'm charging people up with energy when they should be sleeping. So hopefully for those of you that are listening to Music Access at night, right before you're about to sleep, my voice gives you energy for the following day. Remember, take the energy that I'm giving you and use it wisely after you wake up. Just like charging a battery or charging your cell phone, consider me your charger that you plug into at night while you sleep, so in the morning you can wake up feeling like 100%. So we're going to continue on by checking out 2 more songs, starting with the song Add Me In by Chris Brown, followed with Read All About It Part 3 by Emily Sand. Alright guys, we just heard Add Me In by Chris Brown, followed by Read All About It Part 3 by Emily Sand. And I want to thank everyone so much for sending in your messages to our Sunday Corner Scribble Scribble. Remember, if you want to write in for our corner, write in by writing Scribble on your title. And feel free to write in about anything and everything. It's all good here. So it is time to say goodbye. The last song we're going to hear today is Warm on a Cold Night by Hone. This was Benji of B.I.G. And as always, I'll be back.